Okay, so for today, ang topic natin ay slaughtering procedure. So, pag sinabi nating animal slaughter, it is the killing of animal, usually referring to killing domestic livestock. Pag sinabi nating domestic livestock, sila yung mga animals, na mga farm animals na nire-raise natin and kino-confine natin for source of our fiber, protein, um, ano pa ba? Ayan, mga fiber, protein, at other, ano pa ba yung ibang sources kung bakit natin ginagamit yung mga animals. Ayun, basta. Yun, slaughter is the process of killing of animal intended for human consumption. So, yun nga, for protein requirement natin, to satisfy yung need natin for the meat. Commonly, it is referred to the killing and butchering of domestic livestock, tame animals in humane way. So, mamaya makikita nyo yung mga process kung paano i-handle yung mga animals natin para hindi sila super stress at unconscious sila pagka ini-slaughter sila. So, introduction, the holding period, it allows the injured animals to be identified. And sick animals should be quarantined. So, ito yung last week na topic natin, antemortem inspection. So, before pa lang i-slaughter yung animals natin, kailangan merong inspection prior if there are pregnant animals, if there are injured or sick animals or morbid animals na hindi natin pwedeng isama sa slaughtering. Then, during slaughtering, animals should be driven into a stunning area in a quiet and orderly manner. Animals should be led in a stunning area where they can be held in appropriate restraining device before stunning. So, gumagamit tayo ng mga restraining device. Meaning sa restraining, nire-restrain natin yung movement nila or hindi natin sila or iniipit natin sila ganun para hindi sila makagalaw, para hindi rin maging dangerous para sa mga mag-i-slaughter lalo na kapag nagwala yung mga animals natin. And prior to slaughtering, animals are transferred from lairage area to the stunning area. So yung lairage area, yan yung resting pen nila. Usually, pwede sila dyan i-confine from 6 to 36 hours prior to slaughter para rested yung animals natin, para hindi sila mag-develop ng mga pale, soft, and exudative meat natin kapag nai-stress, especially for pork, and then dark fume and dry for the beef kapag stress sila. To facilitate stunning and to protect the operators who perform the slaughtering. So, importance of restraining the animals. So, ito yung restraining. Ayan. So, iipitin din yung animals para hindi siya makagalaw. Ayan, ganyan. Yan yung B-type. Ito naman yung sa hogs natin. So, pinapasok sila dyan para hindi sila makagalaw, makatakbo, or magwala, ganyan. So, yung importance ng restraining natin sa animals, correct application of stunning equipment. So, yung stunning equipment natin, sila yung ginagamit natin para mapatulog or maging unconscious yung mga animals natin. Protect the welfare of the animals. Hindi sila masyadong may stress, hindi sila papaluin, hindi sila hahabulan, ganyan. Protect the operator from possible injury. Then, manual restraint in an open pen, manually handling the free-standing animal in an open air or pen, and restrain in squeeze or crush pen. So, yung manual restraint, usually sa open pen siya, then yung restraint sa squeeze or crush pen yung kanina. Cattle stunning pen. The objective is to confine the animal in a pen so that stunning and slaughter can be carried out effectively and safely. Pens must have gates to close after entry. So, para siyang milking parlor, meron silang mga gates para dun sila papasok kung sakali na sila na yung next for slaughtering or stunning. Ayan, ganyan. Na nag-open and nag-close ng gates natin para hindi takbo ng takbo yung mga animals natin. B-type restrainer used the principle of suspending the animals in a funnel-shaped apparatus, which often has conveyor system and commonly used for pigs and sheep. So, ito yun, kanina. B-shape. Ayan. So, kapag ka nandyan na sila, then tutusukan na sila dun sa forehead nila ng apparatus na ginagamit for stunning. Ayan. So, sa poultry, hindi sila ginagamitan ng restrainer pero nakashackle sila or nakabitin yung dalawa nilang paa for stunning. Chickens are shackled by their legs onto conveyor line. So, ayan, ganyan. Nakashackle yung paa nila. Then, umiikot yung conveyor line pupunta sa stunning equipment. Then, paglabas nila, ayun, dead na sila, tatanggalin na yung feather nila. And then, for factors na kailangan natin i-consider bago tayo mag-slaughter ng animals, yun yung age ng animals. For swine, yun yung mga fattener natin o yung mga patabaing baboy ay 6 to 12 months. Then, for cattle or carabaos, 3 years, yun yung adult size nila. Goat ay 1 year. Then, for the sex of the animals, pag sinabi nating barrow, sila yung mga lalaki na mga baboy na tinanggalan ng sexual organ para hindi sila mag-develop ng sexually kapag nag-mature sila. Sila yung mga kinakastrate. Ayan, kinakastrate na mga pigs na lalaki, mga barrows. Then, kapag sinabi natin gilt, then yung mga hindi pa less than 1 year old, yan. Yung mga hindi pa nanganganak na baboy. So, sila yung mga fattener. So, sila yung best source of meat for curing kasi sila yung medyo malambot yung karne nila compared sa boar and sows natin. So, yung boar, yan yung lalaking pig na ginagamit for production or kinukuha na ng similya. Pero kapag matanda na yung boar, nagkakaroon na siya ng boar taint. Ang sinasabi natin na boar taint, yan yung fishy odor din na parang malansa kasi yun yung nagkakos na humahalo yung libido ba niya sa meat niya kaya nagkakaroon ng aftertaste na boar taint. So, young boars or less than 200 days old or below, yan pwede pa silang gamitin. Pero yung mga older boars, yun nga yung mga merong boar taints. Kaya usually hindi na sila advisable na katayin para sa kainin ng tao kasi meron siyang ibang lasa na siya ganun. Then for the sow, meat is tough and during the advanced stage of pregnancy, the meat may be fishy in odor. So kaya hindi rin advisable na magkatay tayo ng pregnant sow or mga pregnant na inahin kasi meron siyang fishy odor at saka medyo matigas na rin yung karne niya compared sa gilt dahil sa age din ng animals natin. And then, for the factors such as size, yung hog ay fattener 80 to 110 kilo. Yan, yung 6 to 12 months. Pero usually kapag nag-exceed na dyan, mga nasa 140, 180 kilo, yan, mga ano na yan, mga sows na yan, inahin na yan, ganyan. Minsan kasi yung mga inahin or yung mga sow na konti na lang mga anak, yun, kinakatay sila. For the cattle or buffalo, usually 300 to 150 kilo. For goats, 10 to 20 kilograms. So usually yung 10 to 20 na yan nasa native goat na sheeps yan. Kasi yung iba imported lines natin ng sheep ay ginagamit for dairy production. Pero yung iba na goat and sheep, umaabot din sila ng nasa 60 to 70 kilo. Meron din umaabot na ganun mga meat type na goats. Also, we should consider the degree of fatness and the health of the animals. So, syempre, hindi tayo pwedeng magkatay ng may sakit na animals, buntes, at merong mga pilay, ganun, hindi tayo pwedeng magkatay. Then, for fasting, ayan, kailangan i-consider din natin yung fasting dahil mas madali, so ito yung advantage ng fasting, mas madaling linisin yung entrails nila or yung intestine nila dahil wala silang kinain for the next 24 hours. So, for the pig, 12 to 24 hours, pwede silang hindi pakainin. Sa ruminant, 24 to 48 hours. Sa poultry, 6 to 8 hours. Pero yung water, pag sinabi nating ad libitum, unlimited yung water kasi madidehydrate yung animals natin kapag walang water. At kapag na-dehydrate sila at nagkaroon sila ng heat stress, pwedeng magkaroon yun ng effect sa meat, nagkakaroon ng shrinkage or bumababa yung weight ng animals natin. So, advantages, ease of cleaning the eviscerating carcass, brightly colored carcass, lengthen the shelf life of carcass or mas mahaba yung shelf life, hindi siya agad napapanis, low shrinkage of meat. Handling animals gently. So, handling animals gently. The part of the animal whip, kick, or box prior to slaughter develop blood clots and red spot in the meat. So, yun yung kailangan natin na iselect. Kailangan yung hindi sila, wala silang pasa, hindi sila nabugbog, or hindi sila nag-aaway ng mga kasama niya dun sa pen or dun sa truck, ganyan, para walang blood clot or mga dugo. Kasi kapag may mga ganun na hindi na siya dinadala sa palengke, hindi na siya qualified for meat consumption. Clean animals, keep the animals clean. Siyempre, kailangan malinis yung animals natin kasi pagkain yun na kakatayin. So, kailangan malinis. Yung sanitation ay kailangan ma-maintain. Then, for the basic requirements in the slaughtering, cleanliness of the meat produced, hygiene of production, efficiency of meat inspection, advocacy of meat preservation, need for skilled butchers and proper tools and equipment for slaughtering. Siyempre, yun nga, cleanliness in the meat produced. Kailangan malinis yung meat natin, hindi siya kung saan-saan lang nilalagay. Hygiene and efficiency of meat inspection. So, kailangan meron tayong post-mortem and anti-mortem inspection. Then, meron din tayong mga officer na nag-inspect dun sa quality ng meat. Adequacy of meat preservation. Meron silang mga freezer or meron mga warehouse kung saan dinadala yung mga meat natin for preservation and modification ng meat natin. Need for skilled butcher and proper tools and equipment for slaughtering. So, minsan yun nga, kapag walang budget yung, minsan yung LGU, wala yung mga facility, minsan hindi na maintain yung hygiene. So, minsan yung mga butchers natin, sa baba na lang sila nagsasahig, gano'n, nagkakatay, pagka madaling araw, gano'n. So, usually rin kasi madaling araw nag-ooperate yung mga slaughterhouse between 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. kasi nagdadala sila ng mga nakatay na nila between mga 5 to 6, ganyan. Then, yun na, palengke na yun for consumption na ng mga customer, mga buyer, ganun. So, stunning, it is done making the animal unconscious without killing it. So, kumbaga nawala ng malay yung animal natin. So, yun yung ginagawa before i-slaughter. Electric shock stunning. So, this is the method of stunning that apply electricity through the animal brain to introduce epileptic shock or through the heart. Makes use of electrodes placed on their heads with sufficient voltage in their brain greater than 200 volts applied for greater than 3 seconds to cause immediate unconsciousness. So, ito yung kailangan ay greater than 200 volts at meron siyang yun yung nilalagay na voltage sa ulo para yung brain ay magkaroon ng electric shock at yun yung mawala na sila ng malay. So, ganun lang kabilis, greater than 3 seconds lang. So, ito yung sample ng electric shock. Then, for mechanical stunning, ayun yung mga gumagamit ng mga pistol or mga equipment, machineries. Objective mechanical is to induce immediate unconsciousness by administration of severe blow of the head in the animal. So, severe blow, ayan. Phenomic pistol, it impacts the animal head without penetration. So, hindi naman nabubutas yung ulo ng animals. Captive bolt applied to the forehead or sa noo. Eject metallic cylinder through the animal skull. So, ito yung sample. Ito yung mga diagram kung saan sila pwedeng i-stand. Ayan, sa forehead, sa gitna. Para diretso sa brain. Na electric shock yung brain nila. Ayan. Next is the carbon dioxide. So, sa carbon dioxide, ilalagay sila sa chamber. Then, ang ilalabas lang na gas ay yung carbon dioxide. So, dahil wala ng oxygen, nawawalan ng malay at hindi na sila nagkakaroon ng, yung mga organs nila, especially yung brain, ay nawawalan na ng oxygen na kinikerry ng dugo. So, after ng, ito nga, 45 seconds, 80% na ay carbon dioxide yung ilalabas. Kaya yun, nawawalan na sila ng consciousness. Then sa poultry, 65% carbon dioxide for 15 seconds. Stunning action of carbon dioxide is accomplished by blockage of animals' neural terminal, therefore reducing the nervous impulse. Then after na unconscious na siya, after natin siyang i-stun, isasabit na siya for sticking or bleeding. So, ginagawa to para tanggalin yung dugo, excessive blood, dun sa animal natin. So, kasi kapag hindi natin tinanggal yung dugo, iba yung magiging kulay nung meat natin. So, knife is held at 35 to 45 degree angle and thus under the breastbone, made to cut the jugular vein and carotid vein. So, yung vein ay yung mga ang vein ay yung mga vessels or yung mga ugat na nagdadala ng dugo towards the heart. So, for example, sila yung, kung mapapansin nyo, tingnan nyo yung tingnan nyo yung fist nyo. Kapag ka doon sa may medyo color blue or medyo red, dalawa kasi dinadaanan ng dugo natin, yung vein tsaka yung artery. So, yung vein, sila yung mga dinadaanan ng dugo papunta sa puso, pupunta sa lungs, then pupunta sa mga organs. Then, yung artery, sila naman yung mga nagdadala na ng dugo, tapos, away from the heart, dadalhin nila yun sa iba't ibang organs. So, para malinaw, yung vein ay yung nagdadala ng dugo toward the heart. So, yung mga unoxygenated blood, kasi nga, di ba yung blood natin, sila yung nagdadala ng oxygen, pupunta yun sa lungs. So, yung vein yung nagdadala nun. Then, kapag oxygenated na yung blood, dadalhin siya ng artery papunta sa iba't ibang parts ng katawan natin para ma-maintain yung respiratory requirement ng organs natin para mag-function. Ngayon, dahil wala ng naputol na yung jugular vein at saka carotid artery, mawawala na rin sila ng consciousness kasi yung mga organ na yun, hindi na sila makakahinga. Kaya ayun din yung magkukos ng pagtigil ng pulse or ng tibok ng puso ng animals natin. Malinaw tayo doon? Okay tayo doon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so ito yon yung sticking or bleeding. So, yun nga, pinuputol natin yung vein at saka yung artery. So, doon sa, sa poultry nyo, kung napansin nyo yung, yun nga, yung, kung naputol nyo agad yung jugular vein nila, mabilis na pumapatak yung dugo. Then, mas mabilis din yung, yung, mamatay yung animals. Hindi na siya agad nagpapalag-palag kapag natanggal nyo na agad yung jugular vein. Kasi unconscious na siya agad. Ayan. Itong color green na yan. Ayan. Ayan yung jugular vein. Then for scalding, ang scalding ay paglalagay ng mainit na tubig Ayan, para mas madali siyang i-pluck or tanggalin yung mga hair. Yan, scraping ay yung pagtatanggal ng hair dun sa animal natin. So, ito ay modified to. Yung nakakita na kayo ng ganito, merong mga ganito sa mga palengke eh. Ilalagay lang siya, then siya na yung magpa-pluck ng mga balahibo. Meron tayong video dito, wait lang. Ayan. Ito yung operation ng poultry. Sige, panoodin natin. So, ayun. Advance ng technology sa kanila, no? Pero meron na rin tayong ganyan sa Philippines, mga operation na puro machine na yung nag-ooperate. Ayan. So, next sa stunning, scalding, scraping, ayan, removal na agad ng head. So, tatanggalin yung head, then after matanggal yung head, ihang na siya for evisceration or removal of visceral organ. Para yung pinaka-carcass na lang niya yung matitira. So, tatanggalin yung intestine, yung heart, yung lungs, yung kidney. So, yan lahat ng organs niya. Then after that is the splitting. So, ito chainsaw din yung ginagamit dyan kasi mga large animals din. Then after nun ay yung chilling or yung pagpo-frozen. So, usually, ginagawa yung mga pag-freeze kapag hindi siya dadalhin for immediate consumption. For example, sa palengke, ganun. Pero kapag dito sa local area natin, kapag meron agad in-slaughter, so diretso na agad siya sa mga marketplaces. And then, ayan, stunning, sticking, scalding, scraping, removal of head, evisceration, splitting, and then chilling. So, stunning, pagiging unconscious niya, sticking, bleeding, pagtatanggal ng dugo, scalding, pagpapainit or pagsasawsaw sa mga animals para mas madali silang for scraping or sa removal ng hair or plucking ng feathers, removal of head, evisceration, pagtatanggal ng visceral organs, splitting, pagka-quarter or paghahap o paghahati ng carcass, then the chilling process. Okay, for antemortem inspection, so bago siya katayin, i-inspect muna siya. Then after, electric stunning, then bleeding, and then rinsing, scalding, pagsasawsaw sa mainit na tubig, dehairing, evisceration, and then postmortem inspection, and then delivery. So, for cattle and carabaos, ang ginagawa naman sa kanila ay flaying or skinning or tinatanggal mismo yung balat. Ayan, yung skin tinatanggal ito mismo. So, una, stunning or pagpapatulog or unconscious, sticking, and then tatanggalin agad yung hair, yung hide or yung skin. Then, removal of shank and head. And then, evisceration, splitting or quartering. Then, scrounging or wrapping the carcass with cheesecloth. And then, chilling. So, ito yung process niya. So, sa una, ito siya, na-anti-mortem na siya, then na-stun na siya, either mechanical, electric, or gas. And then, after niyang suspend by hind limbs or kinawit na yung hind limbs niya, pinadugo or bleeding, tinanggal yung dugo niya, then tinanggal yung skin niya or yung hide niya. Ito yung hide. And then, tinanggal yung head, and then in-split into two, and evisceration. And then, cooling. And then, after nun, yun, isa-isa na yung meat cuts, bones, and fats. So, ito rin yun. Ayan. So, ito, nirest muna siya, nag-anti-mortem siya, ay naglarid siya or nagintay siya sa waiting area para maging rested siya. Then, anti-mortem, then stunning, then shackling, and then bleeding, removal of heads and feet and tail, and then dehiding or pagtatanggal ng balat, and then brisket and eviscerating, pagtatanggal ng bituka, then splitting into two, and then post-mortem inspection, and then rinsing, quartering or paghahati. Pag sinabi natin quarter, 4. Pag sinabi natin na half, syempre 2. Then the delivery. So, ito rin yun. Sticking, legging or yung pagtatanggal ng frying, tinatanggal yung skin. And then, after nun, ni-remove na yung head. Freezing, so yan, tinanggal na. And then, removal of pouch or yung mga stomach niya, eviscerating, ayan, tinanggal lahat. And then, dress carcass opal. So, yan, nakadress na. Pinaghiwa-hiwalay na yung parts and organs niya. Then, the dressing percentage, yun yung kinuha nyo sa poultry, na ang ideal ay chicken 66 to 76%. So, nakuha nyo siya by dividing the dressing weight, divide the live weight, multiplied by 100. So, sa hogs or sa mga fatteners, sa mga baboy, usually 70%. Cattle, 60%. Sa sheep and goats, 50%. So, kapag sa goats, tapon kalahati, Chicken, 66 to 76%. Sa duck, 71%. Sa geese, 69%. At sa turkey, na 80%. So, unconventional or trading, slaughtering. So, meron pa rin mga unconventional or traditional slaughtering na minsan ginagawa sa mga tribo. So, yun, hindi na sila sakop ng mga rules natin sa slaughtering kasi siya ay traditional. So, yan yung mga may tribo na nag-aalay, mga ganyan. So, for the handling of animals before slaughter, transport of animals sa pagbabiyahe. It is a series of events that requires to get the animal from farm to slaughter. Pre-slaughter or ante-mortem handling, most stressful and injurious stage in the chain of operation from farm to slaughterhouse. So, ito yung pinaka-stressful at pinaka-nasusugatan yung mga animals natin kasi minsan kapag ayaw nilang pumasok sa dock or dun sa may daanan papunta sa truck, pinapalo, hinahampas, ganyan, tinutulak. Kaya minsan nagkakaroon ng injury yung animals natin and minsan hindi rin naiiwasan nagkakaroon ng fighting within the herd ng animals. It contribute to poor welfare of the animals. Ayan, effect of transport. Stress leading to PSE or pale, soft, and exudative in pork, and DFD or dark, firm, and dry in beef. So, makikita nyo yung variation ng normal sa DFD at saka sa PSE. So, medyo pale talaga yung nasa right side, then sobrang dark naman nung nasa left side. Yung normal, ayan, sakto lang yung kulay niya. So, yan yung nagiging resulta kapag stress yung animals natin bago katayin. So, tumataas at bumababa yung pH dun sa meat nila. So, sa pork, tend to be pale, soft, and exudative, result on a rapid post-mortem pH decline while muscle temperature is too high. So, bumababa yung pH ng muscle, pero yung temperature niya ay mataas, kaya nagkakaroon ng pale, soft, and exudative. The combination of low pH and high temperature affect the muscle protein, reducing their ability to hold water and causing them to reflect light from surface of the meat. Pale color, lack of fluid dripping from its cut, lack of juiciness kapag niluto na or cook, unsuitable for processed meat or undesirable product. And then for dry, firm, and dark, they were for beef. They are from severe stress, characterized by dark color and sticky texture, more susceptible to spoiling since it has a higher pH, which is favorable for the growth of microorganisms na mga lactic acid bacteria. So, acid-loving kasi yung mga bacteria natin na nagkakos ng pagkapanis ng meat natin. Yan. Bruising, perhaps the most insidious and significant production waste in the meat industry. So, ayan, kapag ganyang mga puro pasa-pasa na, daig po yung pinara-ternity dyan. Ayan, hindi na siya pwedeng katayin. So, sila yung significant na waste sa meat industry. Hindi na siya pwedeng i-classify for, hindi na siya pwedeng isama for meat consumption. Trampling, it occurs when animals go down due to slippery, floor or overcrowding. So, yan yung mga panghihina ng legs. Yan. Yung parang mga natatalisod, parang ganun. Trampling. Suffocation, this usually follows on after trampling. So, usually, ito ay sa mga birds kapag ka nagtatrampling or halimbawa, hindi na nakakatayo yung mga broiler natin, then marami sila. Then yun, unti-unti nasusuffocate sila kasi nadadaganan sila. So, ganun. Hindi sila nakakahinga, suffocation. Heart failure occurs mostly in pig when overfed prior to loading and transportation. So, nagkakaroon ng heart attack. Heat stroke, pigs are susceptible to high environment temperature and humidity. So, kapag ka tinatravel sila ng tanghali, ayan, mataas yung chance na may heat stroke yung mga animals natin. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga pigs, dati nung wala pang ASF, di ba madami nagbabiyahe. Ngayon, sa gabi sila nagbabiyahe kasi malamig yung temperature sa gabi. Yan, sunburn, exposure to sun affected pigs seriously. Dahil ang mga pigs natin ay susceptible sa sunburn dahil white pig sila. So, wala silang mga melanin compared sa balat ng mga carabaos or na makapal. Yun, at saka may melanin. So, the bloat, restraining ruminant or trying their feet without turning them will cause this a disease disorder or ruminant usually characterized by accumulation of gas in the rumen. So usually yung bloat ay yung naipon na gas na hindi na ilalabas ng mga ruminant natin such as goat, carabao, beef, yan, cattle. Pag nakakita kayo ng bloated na animals, nakahiga na lang sila tapos nakataas yung apat nilang paa. Tapos malaking-malaki yung isang side ng tiyan nila. So hindi na sila makatayo, sobrang sakit na ng tiyan nila. Usually ang ginagawa dun sa farm, binubutas yung tiyan nila para makalabas yung air. Pero maliit na butas lang, ice pick ganun ginagamit para lumabas yung mga air kasi pwede siyang mag-cause ng pagkamatay dun sa mga animals natin. Then the poisoning. Animal can die from plant poisoning during trekking or on hoof and especially the damong Maria. So yung damong Maria, meron siyang cyanide containing, kaya yung mga ruminant natin, yung mga goat and cattle natin, pwede silang malaglagan ng anak, ganun, pwede silang mag-cause ng abortion tsaka poisoning sa animals natin. Kaya kailangan aware din tayo sa mga pag nag-fence tayo or pag nag-fence or nagsusuga ng mga animals, kailangan makita rin natin yung mga available na weeds or damo na pwede nilang makain na pwedeng mag-cause ng abortion or poisoning sa animals natin. Effect of transportation may be dehydration when, long distance without proper watering which will suffer weight loss and may die. So yun, minsan, kung napapansin nyo, hindi kasi minsan naiiwasan na mag-travel tapos abutan na ng umaga. May mga truck driver na alam nila mag-operate. So, humihinto muna sila. Halimbawa, ang dala nila mga cattle or mga beef, o kaya mga pigs, ganyan. Hihinto muna sila, papainumin muna nila yung mga animals nila para hindi siya mag-suffer sa weight loss. At yung iba, yun nga, namamatay sa heat stress and heat stroke, ganyan. Injuries, broken legs, and horns. So, minsan hindi naiwasan, especially sa mga large ruminant, kapag tinatravel sila, tapos yung mga deck na nilalakaran nila, minsan nalulusot yung paa, kaya nagkakaroon ng broken legs. And then minsan yung horn, kapag pinagsama-sama sila sa isang pen or sa cage, hindi rin naiwasan na nag-aaway-away, ayan, nagkakaroon ng broken horn or injuries. Fighting occurs mostly when vehicle loaded with pig stops and among horned and polled cattle. Pag sinabi nating polled, wala silang horn o kaya wala silang sungay. Yan. Method of transportation. Cattle ay road motors, wagons, ayan, wagons, yung mga truck. Ship, ayan, double deck truck. Meron sa taas, then meron ulit sa baba, double deck. And then pigs, yan yung mga truck. Yan mga kamachog. Ayan, ito yung hindi natin ina-advise na mode of transportation. Tingnan nyo naman kung gaano ka-stress yung animal. Nakatali siya ng pabaliktad, then nakatali pa yung mga kamay niya tsaka yung binti niya. So, hindi magandang mode of transportation yan. Hindi rin safe para sa driver. Paano pag nagwala yung animals, di ba yan? Pwedeng ma-aksidente. Ayan. Hindi yan advisable. Ayan. For poultry, mga truck. And then for the type of vehicle, ang qualification ay any vehicle used for transport of slaughtered livestock should have adequate ventilation or maganda yung daloy ng hangin, non-slip floor with proper drainage. So, hindi butas yung mga flooring kasi nga yun nga pwedeng mag-cause ng injury sa animals. Then, may proper drainage kung sakali man na nagkaroon ng mga dumi dun sa truck. So, merong proper drainage yung mga dumi. Protection from sun and rain sa pigs. Dahil, pwede yung mag-cause ng pagkakasakit sa animals natin. Surface of siding are smooth and there's no prostructions or sharp edges. And not totally enclosed. Then, for premixing of cattle or pig, pag sinabi nating premixing, unti-unti paghahalu-haluin natin sila para unti-unti magiging familiar din sila sa mga kasama nila dun sa pen or dun sa truck. So, usually, leads to a greater familiarity and these animals travel better than animals that are strangers. Cattle should be mixed in a pen 24 hours before loading. So, 24 hours kailangan nakamix na sila. Mix pig from different pens together before loading. Smearing pigs with litter or excreta from same pen so that they smell similar. And for most animals, can be fed and watered before transporting. So, usually, ang pinaka hindi lang talaga pwedeng pakainin before transportation ay yung mga pigs. So, pigs should not be fed before transport as the feed ferment in the gas causes pressure on the heart in the thoracic cavity, leading the heart failure and death. So, yun, pwede silang mamatay. Do not mix horned and hornless animals. So, hindi natin sila pwedeng paghaluin dahil, syempre, kapag nagsuwagan yan or nag-away yan, pinakamasasaktan yung mga hornless na animals or yung mga polled, yung mga walang sungay. Different species should also not be mixed. So, hindi pwedeng paghaluin yung mga pigs and carabao, yan, hindi natin pwedeng paghaluin. Pit should not be tied, hindi dapat nakatali. Pre-loading precaution. Animals that are diseased, injured, emaciated, or heavily pregnant should not be transported, and unfit, heavy, pen-fed animals should not travel far as they cannot stand up to the rigors of the transport. So, hindi dapat natin isasama yung mga may sakit, may injured, mga pregnant na animals. Trekking, only cattle, sheep, and goat can be successfully moved on hoof, and here certain risks are involved. The journey should be planned, paying attention to the distance to be traveled, opportunities for grazing, watering, and overnight rest. So, meaning, pwede silang i-travel ng naglalakad. So, pero kailangan ito ay planado at meron din dapat opportunity for grazing or makakainan and watering, and then for the overnight rest ng mga animals. Animals should be walked during cooler times of the day. If moving some distance to a railhead, they should arrive with sufficient time to be rested and watered before loading. Time of the day. High environment temperature will increase the risk of heat stress and mortality during the transportation. So mataas daw na temperature ay pwedeng mag-risk sa buhay ng mga animals natin dahil sa heat stress. This is important to transport animal in vehicle during the cooler morning and evening or even at night. So hindi advisable na mag-travel ng tanghali. Heat can rapidly build up to the lethal level in a stationary vehicle. Wetting pigs with water will help keep them cool. So meaning, pagka bigla daw yung heat daw ay pwedeng mag-cause ng lethal level or nakakamatay sa mga animals sa isang vehicle. So kailangan yun, tumitigil sila, then winewet nila yung pigs or binubuhusan nila ng tubig para bumaba yung body temperature ng mga animals. Duration of journey. If possible, journey should be short and direct, without any stoppage. If the vehicle stops, pig will tend to fight. Cattle and sheep or goats should not travel for more than 36 hours and should be offloaded after 24 hours for feed and water if the journey is to take longer than that. So meaning, dapat sana wala siyang stoppage at tuloy-tuloy lang. And then, usually kasi, pag humihinto yung, yung vehicle na may carry ng mga pigs, yan, nagta-tail biting sila or nagkakagatan sila ng tenga, nag-aaway sila for space, ganyan. Mga irritable sila kasi syempre siksikan din mainit. Then for the cattle naman, pag sumobra na siya ng 24 hours, kailangan ibababa na siya o meron silang station for offloaded or offloading, pinapababa yung animals para kumain at saka uminom kapag sobra ng 24 hours. Then, fabrication and identification of meat cuts. Andyan pa ba kayo? Makikinig pa?
Yes po,
sige. Bigyan niyo lang ako 2 minutes, inom lang ako. Okay, wait lang. So, fabrication and identification of meat cuts. So, meaning, fabrication meaning yung paghahati or pagka-cuts. Identification yan, para makita natin kung ano yung mga cuts natin sa meat. Tulad ng ginawa niya sa activity 1. So, dressing percentage is variable. So, syempre, nagbabago yung dressing percentage based sa live weight or sa weight ng animals natin, especially kung mabigat siya. So, mataas din yung dressing percentage. Fat level sa mga hogs natin. And then, for the age, mas mabigat or mas matimbang yung mas matanda compared sa mga young animals. Gender, usually, mas mabigat din yung males compared sa females sa diet. Kung ruminant ba siya, ano kinakain niya, kung puro greens. And yan. Then for the mga swine or sa mga chickens, yan, mga commercial feeds, yan, sa diet. Then sa breed, if it is native, syempre mas maliit sila compared sa mga genetically improved or sa mga imported na breeds. Distance traveled. So yun nga, kanina sabi natin, pwede siyang mag-cause ng shrinkage doon sa meat natin kapag masyadong malayo yung tinatravel at nai-stress yung animals natin. Amount of gut filled at slaughtered and the body condition. And then, for general principle of meat fabrication, tender meat is separated from toe meats. So, meaning, yung mga malalambot ay hinihiwalay sa matitigas na meat kasi meron silang ibang process para dun sa mga toe meat or sa matitigas na meat. Thick portion must be separated from the thin portion. Muscle must be cut across the meat fiber. So, mamaya makikita nyo. Then, cheap part must be separated from expensive parts. So, ano ba yung mga expensive parts natin? Yan. Yung mga liempo, yung mga brisket, yan, yung mga expensive parts. So, ito yung dapat ganito yung gagawin natin sa tocino. So, kung pag ganito yung muscle fiber niya, yung pattern, so, yan, para horizontal. Yan. So, dito natin ikakat, pababa. So, slice against the muscle fiber. Kasi kapag minsan, kapag dito natin kinat, nagkakaroon ng minsan nadudurog. So, yung mas maganda yung cuttings kapag dito natin siya ay kakat. So, ito yung muscle fiber. So, kapag kinat natin siya, dito manggagaling sa taas, pababa. So, factors affecting carcass yield pa din. Carcass is evaluated in terms of yield and quality of the lean. Yield is the percentage of closely trimmed and boneless retail cuts or the edible lean or yung mga karne yield on the carcass weight basis. Carcass yield or dressing percentage is derived by dividing the carcass weight into the live weight multiplied by the 100. Yan yung ginawa nyo. Meat fabrication is the process of cutting carcasses into standard wholesale and retail cuts. So, yung wholesale, yung malalaking cuts, yung mga quarter cuts, yan, mga hind cuts, yung retail cuts, yan yung mga nakakat na, yung ginawa niyo sa chicken, yung retail cuts. Naka-identify yung breast, yung drumstick, yan, mga ganyan. Importance of bone in meat fabrication. It acts as guide in cutting carcasses. Siyempre, di ba, nung kinat nyo yung poultry, nahanap nyo yung bones kung saan siya madaling putulin. So, nagsisilbi siyang guide in cutting carcasses. Serve as clue to tenderness of a cut. Majority of the wholesale and retail carcasses are identified and named after bone present. So, yun nga, for example, yung ribs. So, yung rib part nung ribs, yun, pinapangalan din after nung bones na malapit sa kanya. Then, examining the bone could identify if the animal is old or young. So, makikita natin yung pagkakaiba ng old and young animals through their bones. So, ito yung mga bones. Arm bone. Ito yung head. Tinanggal na yung head. Ito yung arm bone. Ayan. Ito yung meat niya. Ito yung bone blade. Ito yung part na yan. Ayan. Ito yung bone blade. Sa chicken clavicle, yung blade bone. Then, rib bones. Ito yan, rib bones. Then, the ribs. Ito yung ribs. Loin T-bone. Dito nang galing, loin T-bone. Then, hip bone. Ito yung sirloin na meat. Then, the round leg bone. Ito yon round leg bone. At ito yung leg or yung meat. Leg meat or round meat. Ayan. So, the wholesale cut of front quarter beef carcass. Pag sinabi natin front quarter, yun yung bandang harap ng dibdib ng animals natin. So, yung ribs include the portion of the back bounded by the 6 and 12 ribs. So, simula 6 and 12 ribs. Plate or short plate. Thin portion of front quarter and lies opportunity the ribs. So, ito yung ribs. Mula 6 hanggang 12 na rib cages niya. Ito yon ribs. Then, the plate or short plate, portion of front quarter and lies opposite the ribs. So, ito siya, yung plate. And then, the brisket is containing the sternum. Brisket. Ito yung brisket. Then, the foreshank portion below the arm and the elbow point. Ito, for shank. Ayan, for shank. For the chop, shoulder portion and includes the part of the blade bone, arm bone, rib, 5 rib, thoracic vertebrae, and neck bone. So, ito yung chop. Ito yung isa sa pinakamalaking cuts. Chop. So, ito yung wholesale. Ayan, wholesale cut. Kapag malalaki yung cuts. Ayan, wholesale. Then, the flap, it contains part of the 13th ribs and the abdominal muscle. Asa na yan? Flap. Ito. Ayan. And then, the loin, it contains the backbone, which consists of spine bone, groin body, and finger bone. Loin. Ito yung loin. And then the round, this contain the hind shaft and the bone of thigh. Ito, yung bandang puwitan. Ribs, wholesale cuts of front quarter, beef carcass, ribs, plate, brisket, pork shank, and chop. So, kailangan alam nyo rin yung other term niya, ha? Yan, madali lang naman tandaan. Flank, canto, loin, cadera, round, tapadera. And then, for wholesale cuts, ito rin yung kanina, hiniwalay lang. So, yung front quarter, ito yung ribs, plate, brisket, at saka yung chop. Doon naman sa hind quarter, ayan, ito yung pagitan niya. Pag hinati siya, ito yan yung round, loin, at saka yung mga navel. Ayan, ito, rump. Then, next, pork carcass fabrication, 3 categories of pork cuts, lean cuts, primal cut, and miscellaneous cuts. Pag sinabi natin lean cuts, sila yung ham, loin, and shoulder. While pag primal cuts, kasama yung belly. Same lang din siya, pero kasama yung belly. Then for miscellaneous cuts, it is the pig's feet, tail, fat, and lean trimmings, neck bones, and spare ribs. Okay? So, wholesale cuts of pork, 4, shoulder, ham, loin, and the belly. Ito, shoulder, ham, loin, leg, and the belly. So, ito yung spare ribs. Ayan. Yan yung wholesale cuts. Pag pumunta kayo sa palengke, bumili kayo ng wholesale, buong legs yung ibibigay sa inyo, buong loin, buong shoulder, yan, ganyan. Then, for the goats, leg, it is separated by a cut at the tip of the pelvic bone, perpendicular to the underline when the carcass is extended. So, ito yung leg. Ito. Ayan. Ito pala yung leg. Sa bandang likod. Then, the loin is the region of the carcass from the tip of the pelvic bone to the 12 bridge. Ito yung loin. Ito yung ribs. Ayan, almost the same lang din siya tulad ng sa ruminant natin kanina. Then, for temperature control, chilling, subjecting the meat to a temperature between 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Freezing, process of exposing meat to low temperature that result from crystallization. So, ito yung keyword, crystallization of water in the tissue. So, there are 2 types, the quick freezing and the slow freezing. Pag quick freezing, 30 minutes lang siya with 15 degrees Celsius to 46 degrees Celsius, while for the slow freezing, siya ay nasa 3 to 72 hours at negative 15 degrees Celsius to negative 29 degrees Celsius. And then for thermal processing, blanching, ang blanching ay yung paglalagay ng biglaan sa mainit na tubig and then kukunin mo ulit siya, ilalagay mo ulit siya sa malamig na tubig. So, ang process ng blanching ay denature the enzyme that make the meat spoiled or mapanis. Then, the cooking, sensory, ayan, ginagawa natin, cooking at 35 degrees Celsius. Canning, hermetic or airtight sealing of food in can or jar for 100 degrees Celsius. Then for the pasteurization, temperature with 65 degrees Celsius to 75 degrees Celsius. Destroy pathogenic vegetative cells, but certain heat-resistant microbes and spores can survive. So, meron kasi tayong mga microorganism na heat-loving or kahit mainit, they can survive. While yung pasteurization sa